This is a no-nonsense guide to choosing the best beginner bass fishing setup covering the exact rod, reel, line, and baits that will help you catch fish faster without wasting money on gear you don't need. No single setup can do everything, but if you choose the right combo first, you'll unlock nearly all the most effective bass techniques with one rod and reel. We're going to walk through reel choices, rod specs, line setup, and the baits to start with, all in order and without confusing jargon. By the end of this video, you'll know what specs matter, why they matter, and exactly what to buy for your first bass fishing setup. The first choice anglers make when picking a setup is whether to get a spinning setup or a bait casting setup, which refers to the type of reel. A spinning reel hangs under the rod and uses a fixed open spool. When you flip the bail open, the line falls freely off the spool as you cast. What beginners should know about spinning reels. For advantages, they are practically tangle-proof, they're very forgiving with light lures, and they're simple to learn and control. For disadvantages, they do everything pretty well, but nothing perfectly. Think of spinning reels as the easy, reliable, do-everything reel option. The other option is bait casting reels, which sit on top of the rod. When you cast bait casters, the whole spool rotates, which has some key advantages and disadvantages. What beginners should know about bait casting reels. For key advantages, they have more accurate casting potential than spinning setups. The other advantage of bait casters is they're more comfortable to repeatedly cast. Simply reel and press the button to cast, no need to flip over bails every cast like with a spinning reel. For key disadvantages, bait casters aren't as beginner friendly as spinning reels. Since the whole spool rotates, it's possible to get what's called a bird's nest, where the spool spins faster than the line is being pulled off the reel, which can make a mess of line that needs to be picked out before you can keep fishing. If you know what you're doing, bird's nests are mostly avoidable, but there is a learning curve to get there. The other main disadvantage is baitcasters do not perform well with light baits. Baitcasters are amazing, but beginners should consider them as a tool you graduate into, not where you start. With all this in mind, beginner bass anglers should definitely get a spinning setup because there's a shorter, much less frustrating learning curve, and spinning setups are versatile in a way that let anglers try a wide variety of techniques with one combo instead of being pigeonholed into only a few specific options. Okay, so we've decided on a spinning combo, but what does a beginner need to know to pick the reel itself? Spinning reels come in sizes like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, or 10, 20, 30, depending on the manufacturer, that indicate the size of the reel. The bigger the number, the bigger the reel. As reels get bigger, they get heavier, they can fit more line of larger diameter, and generally also get beefed up drag systems. If you look closely at most spinning reels, they will indicate recommended line sizes, plus how much of that size line will fit on the spool. My recommendation for the best beginner bass reel is to get a 2500 size spinning reel. 2500 size reels are that perfect size for popular bass fishing techniques because they are not too big, not too small, they hold plenty of appropriately sized line, they're light enough to balance well on the rod, and has the appropriate amount of drag power for solid hook sets and fighting bigger bass. You could also go with a 2000 or 3000 size, but 2500 is the most universal and beginner friendly. You don't need to overthink this, just get a 2500 size. For reels, you generally get what you pay for as far as reel quality goes. You can get reasonably good spinning reels in the $50 to $100 range, but reels above $150 will generally be smoother, lighter, and built from higher quality components. You'd be pretty safe going with some of the popular reel manufacturers in those price ranges like Shimano, Daiwa, or Pflueger. I've included a few recommended choices in each price range in the video description to accommodate how each person's budget may be different. Now let's talk about the rod itself and what the specs actually mean. The perfect beginner spinning rod is 6 foot 6 inches length, medium light power, and fast action. And here's what all that means. For the length, 6 foot 6 is the sweet spot length for a beginner. Most fishing rods are between 6 foot 6 and 7 foot 6, so this is on the shorter length, but that's intentional for a couple reasons. 1, it's long enough for good casting distance, but 2, it's short enough to stay easy to control from the bank or a boat. Longer rods can cast further with less effort, but they can become unwieldy. 6 foot 6 is a practical sweet spot. For rod power, the medium light choice. Power is how much force it takes to bend the rod. Rod powers range from ultralight to extra heavy. Medium light is the sweet spot for many bass fishing techniques because it's flexible enough to cast lighter lures, but strong enough to handle hooking a decent bass. It excels with the finesse baits that beginners catch most fish on. Some anglers may recommend medium power, but I recommend medium light because it's easier to throw lighter lures with, and those lighter lures are what most beginners catch the most fish on. There's the rod action, fast. Rod action describes how much of the rod bends. Fast action rods, just the tip bands, whereas with moderate rods, most of the rod blank flexes. Fast action is recommended for many bass fishing techniques because it offers the right balance of rod sensitivity and has enough backbone for appropriately powerful hook sets. Together, these specs of a 6 foot 6 inch length medium light power rod with a fast action give you a pole that's sensitive, lightweight, and perfect for the finesse style lures beginners catch the most fish on. Again, I have a few solid options linked in the description at different budget levels. Next, we have line choice, which is one of the most confusing parts of fishing. So let's break down your options. Three main types of fishing line are monofilament or mono, fluorocarbon or fluoro, and braided line. Each has its pros and cons. Mono is the cheapest, has tons of stretch, it somewhat disappears underwater, and has a lot of line memory, which can be frustrating. Braided fishing line is made up of braided fibers, has essentially zero stretch, is relatively visible underwater, has small diameter for its strength, and has zero line memory, which makes it pleasant to fish with. Fluoro is somewhere in the middle of the braid versus mono discussion. It stretches some, but not as much as mono. It disappears reasonably well underwater, and it's fairly expensive. Here's the bottom line. If you want the least headache with the most performance, the best line for this beginner bass setup is using a 12-pound braided main line with a short, roughly 2 foot long, 12-pound rated fluorocarbon leader. If you want to go lighter or heavier, ranging from 10 to 15-pound line are also completely functional variations of this setup. Okay, so we have our ideal bass rod, reel, and line rigged up. What baits pair best with this combo to catch bass? The best part about this setup is it's perfectly spec'd out to fish with the best beginner bass fishing baits that are all but guaranteed to catch bass. Top baits for this combo are as follows. 1. Paddletail swim baits. If I had to pick one bait for the rest of my fishing career, it would be a paddletail swim bait on a jig head. This type of bait has absolutely dominated the bass tournament scene recently, and it's about as close to a baitfish representation as you can get. And the best part? This rod, reel, and line setup is optimized for swim bait fishing. 2. Wacky rigs, where you hook a Senko style stick bait in the middle. This bait just seems to drive bass wild. Grab a small finesse hook, a 5-inch stick bait in your favorite color, cast it out, and alternate between letting the bait drop and giving it little pops with your rod tip. 3. Drop shots. Another incredible finesse rig that suspends a bait just above a weight that is bounced along the bottom. Again, drop shot fishing is ideal with this rod, reel, and line setup. 4. Smaller crankbaits or spinner baits. I wouldn't use this light of a setup for big, half-ounce baits, but smaller crankbaits and spinner baits are totally fine and are great, simple cast and retrieve baits for beginners. And by the way, if you want to learn the 25 lures every bass angler should know, along with when, where, and how to fish each one, I put everything into a beginner-friendly ebook based on years of experience and thousands of casts. It's the fastest shortcut to understanding the baits that actually catch fish. Link in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, great. You get access to some of the most effective bass fishing techniques with this combo, but let's spend a second talking about what it cannot do. This is a lighter finesse focused combo. It doesn't have the backbone for some of the popular bass fishing techniques. For example, I would not fish a Texas rig, throw a frog, or throw a big glide bait on the setup. These baits are either too heavy for the rod or require a powerful hook set that would exceed the medium light backbone. Reasons like this are why people end up with a few different combos that are optimized for certain bait techniques. This simple setup, a 6 foot 6 inch medium light spinning rod with a 2500 size reel and braid with a short fluorocarbon leader and a handful of beginner friendly baits, covers almost everything a new bass angler needs. It's versatile, forgiving, and capable of catching fish anywhere bass live. Start with this, master a few techniques, and you'll build the skills to try anything in bass fishing. Now, grab your rod, hit the water, and go catch your first fish with confidence.